unhitched and bold. My America, a wild heart beats from the mountain tops to crowded streets. My America, dreams collide through the highs and lows. I take the ride. I take the ride. Coffee steam, a morning rush. City horns, the engines crush. Fields that stretch, a painter's brush. Silent nights, a starry hush. Waves crash, the ocean sings. Freedom rides on eagle wings. My America, a wild heart beats from the mountain tops to crowded streets. My America, dreams collide through the highs and lows. I take the ride. Not perfect, no. Oh, we've got our scarred eagle wings, chasing hope under broken stars. But every flaw's a line of art. My America, you own my heart. My America, a wild heart beats from the mountain tops to crowded streets. My America, dreams collide through the highs and lows. I take the ride. Not perfect, no. We've got our scars, chasing hope under broken stars. But every flaw's a line of art. My America, you own my heart.
All right. We're hoping for Ron to show back up. I know he's like probably busy getting some grub. We want to welcome Tasso B, and I got a lovely StarSeed or Star Draco, as or you just call her Star. And the focus that we did want to put on intermission transmission last night was all about the new California laws and why Star may have some dissension about it. I didn't do a screenshot of all of them because I'm probably not going to have room, but this is something that I can do. I'm just going to go ahead and do that here. Oh, there it is. Where is it? There it is. But this, okay. So, Star, any specific that you want to start at first?
All right. So basically, California residence business new owners laws in coming 2026. This is a new law that California is getting to a new sum. So it's a big long list there, and a lot of it's like the political kind of agenda fighting against the two party sides here, and a few things. So I got this from the AV that dig through, and we read through that last night, and we're like, dang. I said, like, we didn't know about this until that came up. Okay, so California Governor Gavin Newsom signed several new bills into law over the past year, many of them addressing like issues. consumer protections, labor and workplace rights, and education. So some of the laws that took place that will impact your life into New Year. The new California Law 2006 Business and Consumer. These bills directly transcending the living conditions for business and customers. Here's the first one here. We're talking about AB 671. Assorted Business Restaurant Building Plan Approval. Okay, well, we have different types. We have like earthquakes and whatever. But they keep changing it, certain things, clause. So, like, the other one is AB 671. That's under preference, creates a voluntary expanded path to permitting small and independent restaurants seeking to re-profit existing spaces, allow licensed architects and engineers certify simple plans while maintaining required inspections and safety checks. Because we got a lot of empty ones throughout the time since the COVID era. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of small business up because the taxes keep going up high in California. And now they're trying to fill some places in, but they kind of make things a little bit kind of difficult.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
what happened. And we have another one is SB 766,
mhm.
preventing auto retail scams. That's like a lot you probably don't even hear about. Customers who buy or lease a new car or used car from a California dealer now have a first time nationwide return a used car for refund within 3 days of purchase. Improved pricing transparency. The bill also requires dealers to disclose the full cost up front and profits of deals from, charging for add-ons and have no benefits to a buyer. So free oil changes for electric vehicles. Of course, they'll put electric vehicles, but not gas. Why? See, that's another question there.
hmm. Especially right here in Louisiana, they all like prefer um um gas over electric, which is kind of like a bit crazy. I mean, I don't mind if they don't mind if they have an electric, but around here they prefer like glass. And if you like drive a Tesla around here, be prepared to be called a clown. And no telling why they want to do that. It's just the way they want to do it.
Yeah, I see too many Teslas here. Some orange color, pink color, some weird shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. So here's the next one. And expanding outdoor dining flexibility. That's AB 592. Enables the open kitchen restaurants to fully leverage California's exponential climate by permitting windows, folding doors, or non-fixed storefronts, giving the restaurant owners a great flexibility providing outside premises. And we have some kind of like that, but not all business do have that in a way.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and here's got a part of it of expanded dining options. The bill limits open kitchen restaurants utilize California's climate by permitting windows, folding doors, or non-fixed storefronts, giving restaurant owners a greater flexibility promoting outdoor premises. So, our climate gets hot and cold here in certain places in California. Some places just nice, that kind of thing. It depends where you are.
All right.
Okay, the food and delivery platforms, customer care and services. This law prohibits food delivery platforms using tips of quality to offset the base pay for delivery divider requires itemized pay breakdowns. It depends like what kind of food you'll get for a food delivery.
Yeah. Pretty much the similar thing happened in Louisiana. Jet Landry, if it's not from like the Gulf or anywhere in Louisiana, let's say they're like from China or anywhere within the Latin American region, is going to get tossed because you don't know what you're going to get when you get from a foreign nation unless it's directly in Louisiana when it comes to our seafood.
All right. So this is required appliances and rental apartments beginning January 1st, 2026. Apartments required to come equipped with the refrigerator and a stove, as well basic appliance that residents enters expect also will require. Some apartments they have this already, but when we rented a fridge for $25 a month, so it's like that goes add on to our part of our rent. But well, I probably won't see that. Maybe next year, who knows? But we didn't have a microwave, so we bought a microwave.
I don't mind a furnished house or apartment. But if we got our own stuff, what us have that? And if they want us give us like let's say like free cable and internet, I'll take that because I think all we gotta do is just pay the rent, pay the internet, wherever it could be T-Mobile, AT&T, or Cox. That's our three service providers that we got. But we also got to pay our own Quickle bill. If it was included, then probably the rent may go up, but they try to do that just to save money on the rent.
All right, so this is a kind of big biggie for years. Single-use carry-out bag. They've been doing it that off and on. It's like make your mind. Beginning January the 1st, 2026, all stores will only be allowed to distribute recycled paper bags to customers at the point of sale. The change follows the state's 2014 ban. Remember that one? This didn't use of plastic bags. They got rid of that right there. So now stores may change minimum 10 cents per bag. They did that with plastic bags
Yeah.
in California. I don't know why you want to give someone charge them 10 cents per bag. If someone has many, that adds up.
I think every once in a while, I mean, I got plenty of tote bags that I don't mind bringing to the store and stuff. I just don't even use them.
Yeah, I use a lot of
I
tote
should be
bags
stored.
too. Because I'm like that adds up, that 10 cents might go somewhere that needed basically. So we have
Yeah.
a previous coverage California for banning plastic bags at grocery stores. Unfine looks for having trouble loading this video. In other words, people are talking about how you can check out where you get it together. So banning plastic bags at grocery stores, government is some signed a bill that ban plastic bags in grocery stores. So like the paper bags rip, people complain, and then we went to plastic. So now I don't know what they're gonna do now, and people's gonna up their arms over this one.
Yeah.
Okay, recycling. All right, here. Recycle the stores, sell bags, must keep money and use it to cover costs of providing bags in compliance with the bag ban and educational materials. Educational campaign stores cannot require customers to purchase a bag. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like okay. All right, now we're talking about storage faculties. You
Oh
mentioned
yeah.
so the law amends California's self-storage faculty act to establish the procedures governing operation self-service storage faculties, including specify remedies for faculty owners and, and occupants delinquent paying rent or other changes in this law requirement agreements to enter into or after Jan 2006 disclosure items including whatever rental fee is discontinued or promotional, whatever rental fee is subject to change. The minimum rent fee the owner could charge during the first 12 months of following a date during the agreement. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's kind of like you're in the storage, they might do a certain percentage a year.
Yeah, around here we had to like we had to go to a washateria, but a storage facility. Let them decide if they want a storage facility, if they want to like put their stuff in a storage bin or something.
Yeah, we got a lot here. It's just some people use them for extra stuff and whatever.
Yeah. All right. So I think this was about residents and business.
Hmm.
All right. Now let's focus on our health.
Yeah, this one's a little bit, different here category because there's a lot been going on over the years. Okay, so 40 reducing drug costs. The new law caps the new cost sharing insulin at 35 for a 30-day supply for most Californians with state regular health plans, but the bill also step therapy require patients to try other drugs first as a precedent for insulin coverage and eliminates deductibles and insulin prescription and mean plans. But ones that they did, so they're trying to get people to use a different insulin, especially people with diabetics.
I don't. I hope I don't go to insulin. I'm already taking metformin and Farxiga
Yeah,
because
so, but sometimes the prices, the medicine's up high here in California. I don't get it.
yeah.
Californians will be able to buy low-cost state-branded insulin beginning Jan 1st, 2026. The CalRx, California's program, will deliver small parts of its own prescription medication pens that suggested rental price no more than $55 for a pack of five 3 meal pens, cutting out of about $11 a pen.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're trying to bring it back down to
like,
35. That's that's. Mm. All right. And then
so it's other related coverage. Government also sell low cost insulin. I'm gonna find looks like we're having trouble locating the video of that because there's a lot going on about insulin, other stuff. The sky high, people used to pay 300 or more. One point. You can check out the other videos while you get together. You might look at that up as well. California will also buy 5 packs insulin pens from a minimum 55 per pack or $11 per pen starting Jan, a government news said on Thursday.
mhm.
Yeah, he's waiting a lot in there. Okay, spending and voluntary behavioral health treatment. Previous state law allowed determined cases suspected mental health conditions when people are determined to be changed danger to themselves, a danger to others, or gravely disabled because they cannot secure food, shelter, or clothing. And it's kind of living expenses a lot. People become homeless here because the rent's going up high, just like this, like New York and certain places due to a lot of influx of immigrants, a lot of things. So a lot of people couldn't afford whatever
Mhm.
here. Under the new law, a disability is refined not only include those unable to secure food, shelter, and clothing, but also could not keep themselves safe or secure necessary medical care. Additionally, a grave disability may be determined by a result of mental illness or substance use or disorder as standalone condition.
Mhm.
So it's like a combination where they're what they're going to plan to do with these certain people.
Yeah. I just like thank God I still was able to get a diploma in my high school. I didn't even like high school.
All
There's a
right, so
lot of people that hates high school.
yeah, because I remember in high school, I didn't even have a cell phone, till
Well, even as of the day, we had to still put cell phones in our lockers and make sure it's off.
yeah, there's a lot of kids who do with their phones and a lot of things. So basically, we're talking about categorization in schools here.
Oh yeah, the education part.
On hate, anti-Semitism in schools. Okay, is some people did certain things one point or another. The bill established office civil rights equal anti-Semitism in schools. They're talking about Muslim kind of things, like when they quote that out. And I didn't see a lot of Muslims like my day, but now I guess it's a streaming nowadays. Now that's kind of whole kind of big thing. But if it's a lot of immigrants coming here in California, a lot of them don't treat our stuff right. So it's like they totally disrespect a lot of things we set up here, and then it feels like they are taking over. So and then we have this thrown in our face a lot, and we can't say a whole lot here. So then now they're going to do that right there. That's kind of in schools. So additional and anti-Semitism prevention counter will be pointed by the governor Newsom, confronted by state Senate as task for tracking and reporting anti-Semitism in California schools, as well training, advising local education agencies in how to address anti-Semitism. But they don't talk about others besides that. It's like according to the Muslims kind of community right there. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
just had. Yeah, I just had to ask one of my AI buddies, like co-pilot, about Muslim population in Louisiana. It's about a half of a percent of the population. About almost 25K Muslims are here in this state, which when it comes to any others that's not Muslim, it's about we're about 4.7 million.
I need to look up in California because we have like a lot of Asians. Some are here. We have a lot of Indians from
Yeah.
the side. We also have Muslims. We also have
The
Mexicans.
student of the year that graduated a year before me was a Buddhist. And I don't want to take any offense, but she was like some of the most nicest.
Yeah, there's some nicest people from other parts of the world that usually come here and want to learn.
Yeah.
So it requires the district to investigate and take the corrective action when discriminatory content used in classrooms or professional development.
Yeah.
Okay, notification for protection education institutions. The bill requires schools of higher education institutions, community notifications, immigration enforcement, and on the campus, and prohibits immigration enforcement entering in certain areas without just a warrant and order.
Which should be the case, period. I mean, you can't just be barging into anybody's house doing whatever you want without a warrant. How many times I follow lawyers on YouTube and they all say the same: gotta have a warrant, or it's not gonna hold up.
All right, so protecting immigrant children. We have a lot here due to the Biden's policies. A lot flooded here in California and like in other places. This is bill for head schools allowing immigration enforcement officers on campus without a warrant. The bill requires school officials and employees request a valid dedication of any officer or employee or agency conducting immigration enforcement seeking another non-public area of a school campus. The bill will also prevent a local education agency that implements personal form discussing and providing and writing verbally in other manner the education records or any information about a person or people's family in the household without people's parents or guardians without consent. A school employee or a teacher to an officer or employee of an agency conducting immigration enforcement without a void adjustable warrant or adjustable subpoena or court order directing education agency or personnel to do so. So this is a big thing because California is a central state and they have a lot of fighting with the ICE, but a lot of people did not do the proper procedures here in California. And the Democrats, didn't want to protect a lot of immigrants. But the problem is, we got a lot of crime from a lot here and every day, and some things been going on. So it's like we're looking at certain things that are not really wanted to, make themselves better here. They come and took a lot of things. People with disabilities, they took advantage of that and the food stamps and everything else here. And they
Mm-hmm.
come in this state in California, and if you're from another country, you got to come up here and money things to prove your worth here, not to steal like other needy people's stuff here. Period.
Yeah.
Other kind of programs. If you want to come here, that's cool. You want to be, helping us out, but do not take. Do not bring your crimes or scams, steal, or whatever. If you
Yeah.
like, that's the thing. But now this whole kind of thing, they're protecting all the immigrants because other things was going on. Of course, we have a lot of immigrants tracked down here in California that are really bad criminals that were placed in the third world part of the countries that have come over here due to Biden's policies. And for years ago, you could say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the next one, 8B3216, I think that's probably going to be something like special because I think we
Uh,
had that here as well.
all right, so the LA students walk out protest of Trump's immigration policies. Like undefined looks, we are having trouble locating this video because they couldn't, not like because a lot has been deleted. A lot of things like
Yeah.
the so parties do not want to be out. You can check
Yeah.
out other videos so they all get together. You have to look it up and search it out, the logouts. A lot of it is like certain people is one side of party.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
students walk out protests of Trump's immigration policies. That's like, that's kind of weird because I've seen a multiple of other side of party, the Democrat side of party that pull that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they want to put Trump's, but I see so many, and I'm questioning is like over some other certain things, not just like that. But that's Newsom saying here.
Yeah. All right.
So several hundred students in a high school staged a walkout protest of federal immigrant policies. That was a big one that happened. You probably remember or heard about that, Bobby, about ICE. That's
Yeah. There's been a few channels I like. There's Agenda Free on YouTube. There's Woke on Twitch. They usually cover all of them.
all right.
Of
So
course.
we have another school phone policies. So all
Oh
K
yeah.
through 12. Then was like schools must eliminate preventing student phone use by July 2026. But I don't understand why K will have phones. That's kind of a question mark there. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, cell phone ban affects in LA on the five schools. The tournament looks like we're having trouble loading the video because there's a lot of talking, like what the teachers has done. Okay, there's a lot of that going up in the air, and certain people will record the teacher, and like we found out the truth what they're teaching. They don't want that out, guys. Certain things that should not be in schools so that certain teachers, certain events quelt. And this is
Mm-hmm.
why I'm putting a cinch on that because a lot went out basically. And it did flare a lot of parents. And my parents did up in and took a lot of their kids and to make it homeschool because the situation, a lot of things like sexual book reading, from young kids. You're talking about like are you a boy or a girl kind of thing. You probably hear a lot about that. Also about the gay kind of thing too, and
Yeah.
also the liberal way of thinking. That's been pressed with that. And you shouldn't put any no politics in school teachings. Period. Doesn't matter if I'm right or left. It's like for
Mm-hmm.
like building blocks for your development so the skills are set, not like left and right policies and like their opinions. It's up for teaching to build so you can use the skills later on in your life. That kind of thing. But that's been like out a lot for a long time. And this is kind of cracking down on that. And they're trying to limit in certain ways. And of course, they don't want the parents getting involved. This is a lot of certain cases that here in California.
Yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
there's going to be something wrong with the school system and they have to appreciate it, there's a lot of people today that's either doing like homeschool or private school because they don't like the way how the public is working.
Yes.
And I agree with those people.
Yeah,
There
it's
that's
a lot in California. Some things like they should not put in the schools, and I saw a lot about it. I'm like, no. I'm like, we don't talk about, kindergarten about sexual stuff, a guy and a girl, or gay sex. Okay, sorry, no, we don't.
yeah. I don't think we ever had sexual education whenever I was going to school. So
So yeah, they've been placing like some other stuff and some things and the way the teachers and the way they think of that, and that caused a lot of issues here in California. But the one party doesn't get that hey, that's a no go. But you know how that goes. Then we got cell phone ban effect in LA 9 in schools. Student phone using school hours are now restricted.
hmm oh
Okay,
yeah.
so this is a CSU direct admission program. High quality school graduates are automatically admitted to California State University campus for 2026 to 2027 school year without having to apply. But I still remember we all apply for universities and the college higher up and they get our advanced stuff. So under the program, eligible students automatically receive letters notifying they have been directly admitted to CSU campus based on their academic records. The program spans a pilot announced last year, limited to high school students in Riverside. But I look
Wow.
at the students to choose which schools, what program they prefer. Of course, they get granted that, but it's up to somebody and further. But of course,
Yeah.
a lot of universities here in California and suburban, certain places, it's like more, very different, really hard to get into. And I hear a certain percent of people could get in.
Yeah. All right. Well. All right.
All right, ultra processed foods. Okay, this is like many times process over. But and I wish they could say process, but not ultra. Banned from school lunches. The bill bans most harmful ultra processed foods from schools lunches by 2035. That's a couple years from now.
Hmm. And that's like 10 years from now.
But you should not put processed foods, period, in like a school lunches. You supposed to like how someone could possibly think well in a
Uh,
focus of daily task.
so
This
let's
makes
say it has to be like all natural, not processed and stuff.
yeah. This makes California state nation to ban certain foods from public schools. Why waiting for 10 years? Why they just
Just do it now. Like
yeah.
do it like for the next schooling year.
Previous school coverage decides to ban ultra processed foods in school. So lawmakers one step away from banning the processed foods from schools. And in turn, looks like we're having like trouble with the video again to talk about how they feed certain the kids a certain food in cafeteria or whatever school lunch and whatnot they make. And of course, parents just pay for that. Unfortunately, all right, the lawmakers one step from banning ultra processed foods from schools. California lawyers just passed a First Nation bill to phase out ultra foods from school lunches with overwhelming bipartisan support. They had to put that there.
Hmm.
And now AB like 1264 on Gavin Newsom's desk and signature and the first step before it becomes law. So they're kind of tinkering with this.
Hmm. All right.
Okay, so we're talking about crime and public safety. We got a lot of crime here in California. Those don't
Especially in Los
disseminate here.
Angeles. If you're in the Los Angeles area, you
There's a
don't want to
lot.
be there.
Now, I don't go near there. Only time we go near there if we have something there or something we want to do down there. But we do not stay longer. Yeah, it's a lot been going on, especially Santa Monica. It sucks. I used to remember that my family used to do parts of my family grew up in Santa Monica, and it's like I used to visit down there until a lot of stuff happened. It just like fall apart, and I can't enjoy the sun up here. Go to there on the beach. And the last time I did, they had to frisk us and go through our shit. I'm like, are you serious?
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's when it's like I'm out. I'm like, if you guys want to do this, and we can't like if we can't trust each other and in the community, wait,
Can't
that's
trust nobody
the
today.
problem. Yeah. So the community orders issues related crime and public safety, immigration enforcement, and police conduct and civil claims. See, they're throwing a lot of immigration in there. Okay, well,
Hmm.
we do like have a lot of immigration a whole lot. So talk to Calvin. We have some people are here, but now we have to fight a lot of immigrants that don't want to associate here in California. They're causing a lot of us a headache. Our hair's pulled, like gray hair, literally. I could say, and
Yeah.
it's a bias migration, basically bias. See, they're kind of getting us on that here. There's not because of discrimination. This bill criminalizes threats of mass balance made against workplaces as well as schools, house, and worship. Medical felonies, additionally, a law attendance California Fair Employment and Housing, which requires employers to prevent workplace discrimination harassment. Can we just say that other side around, but like a lot of immigrants don't want to associate here in California. They disagreements, they cause names, harass and violence us. And we had to put up with a lot of it. And when they say, oh, you're anti-Semitism, it's like we're not, or we're racist. We had to deal with that here for many years in California. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
we're
you don't have any much free speech really much here.
yeah, it's crazy.
So no, okay, no. vigilance act. This bill, after January the 1st, required a law enforcement officer operating in California is not uniform display indication that includes agency either name badge to the public when performing their enforcement duties, except as specified. The bill make a violation of provision misdemeanor. The bill would define a personnel or law enforcement agency, any peace officer under California law or any federal law officer. So there's a lot, against a lot of officers here in California. The parties. Okay, a lot of people rely on them trying to keep the crime down, but the other side, it's like, of course, we have good and bad apples in this economy. I understood that.
Yeah.
So, with California bans most law enforcement officers from wearing masks during operations. They're talking about like ICE, like that, wearing that to cover their face because a lot of crazy left people that are so insane and basically who side with the cartels here in California target these people's families, threat, kill, whatever. And it's like a political kind of thing, the way that I hear the Democrats are doing. Like I know a lot of Democrats are not in this way. There are some that are really out there. Is forcing upon certain stuff, and they're here for a reason to deal with somebody. That's the part of the job. Okay, and so what it is, if they're immigrant, whatever, they're here to do with somebody that's not supposed to be here. Allow them to do their job. Don't interfere. Don't cause any problems. Because if you do, like you're going to get in trouble for it and get dragged in and get fined. There's a lot, things been going on, and people don't understand why I put the certain clauses here. Just in case one point or another, but it's all kind of redirect. But in California, they're empty police, mainly. We don't have a lot of police people forces here. A lot of them got rid of badges and left because the policies that the governor and certain governors here in California are so against a certain way, trying to keep things safe. That's why we got a lot of issues here, a lot of crime and stuff, because we don't have a lot of these people to do with certain stuff. Not, they're really thin here, sadly. They went to a state like Florida, or other countries accept them. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So they basically, the Trump administration pushing back, see, they had to put that there. That's a political thing there. That's Newsom. Okay, Newsom, Gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
I had to say that because the mask ban, it looks like we're having trouble loading the video. There's a lot of videos of this been going on in certain sides. And Trump administration pushing back on ICE ban, acting attorney bill, this class and Newsom law ban ICE agents from covering their faces and calling California gun safety. But these people were chosen their job, had their lives threatened and followed. And we got a lot of cartel here that want to take these people out. And of course, they were paid to do so. And basically, there's few videos of people might look back that a lot of the crazy people put bounties on ICE and police officers.
Yeah.
They have.
I mean, you could be talking a lot about these cartels coming from like now. I think it's mostly in California, but I think it might be affected with any state that borders Mexico.
Yeah, in Texas, California, like where the border is with Mexico, we had to deal with a lot of cartels. Of course, we got a lot of like China kind of involved too in their crazy antics. It took over by a lot of our farmland and spy on our government. And yeah, and certain stuff like the farming, and yeah, it's like stories like a lot of immigrants that got busted, like the glass house. Like you probably hear that at one point. That's like a couple many
Yeah.
months ago.
Mhm.
So that's how they're doing right there because this is like a political kind of thing in Newsom, the radical side, because there's radical in the far left, there's radical far right. It would,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
so basically, they're protecting immigrant patients' rights. The bill prohibits immigration enforcement agents entering non-public areas felony without a just warrant, court order, or protect the patient's information, right? Disclose the person's current past immigration status, a place of birth, related immigration informants. Okay, if they're going in a hospital or whatever, they gotta know where they're from. They just can't. You know, what I mean, once they have some kind of issues or disease in their body or what was going on, we gotta know. Period. You know, so we could like deal with certain things. You know, you get my drift there.
Mhm. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
sexual assault claims. We got a lot here due to those that want to sit here. Of course, a lot of Muslims like that are certain Muslim parts like do certain things to females. They did certain things to the females in New York. They did some females here in California. A lot of certain results because they don't want females like wear our clothes like that. We got to wear a burqa, cover. And it's gonna lead to that. Um,
Yeah.
it's a lot of those that want to assimilate here. That's the problem we're doing, and a lot of them do a lot of sexual assault claims because they think it's okay. It's okay to do that. I don't know where they're from, but that's not okay here in the United States. No matter if you're in California or other
In
states. So
Louisiana, Jeff Landry says if you're going to be convicted of a sexual related advancement, like a charge or something, prepare to lose your nuts.
yeah, let's see, a 2 year window. So basically, 2 years window. So why like that? It's a 2 year window. And they committed it, they could do that again. See, 2026 to 2027 to receive civil rights claims of sexual assault, even the statute of limitations has expired. So they're kind of like, nah, that kind of thing. That's like in there here. Okay, work and labor. Ah.
Mhm.
So this category includes the laws enforcement on wages, hours, record keeping, and general employees' rights and protections. Okay, so certain state or pay conducts unlawful. The beginning Jan 2026 will be unlawful include terms impose penalties or fees require employees to pay debts or authorize debt collection if the employment relationship ends. Why? The law also allows private rights of action, including the minimum wage of 5,000 per worker, injunctive relief, and attorneys and fee costs. That's a lot right there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's just like require employees to pay debts. That's like a big sum. I don't know what you guys think about that.
hmm, I would have no comment on it.
There's a construction trucking employer. A monthly program expenses bill requires employers to reimburse their employees to use the upkeep and reception of the truck, tractor, trailer, or commercial vehicle that the employee own and use for work.
Wow.
Crime victim legislation expanded reasons of paid or unpaid leave. Beginning of Jan, employees can pay sick leave or certain unpaid leave if the employee or a covered family member are victim of certain crimes and needed tenant-related and judicial proceedings. To coverage would include bail or release determinants of plea or sentencing hearings. Because some people, if you hire somebody, you fire them, like you give them a last paycheck of like how many days they work, and that's the end of it. But now in California, people are up arms a lot. Like one thing and another one, the bloody the employer. There's a lot of that going out over that.
If I was someone who, where I might have to go in for a certain set of people that got victimized just by, let's say, like a crime or a terrorist attack, I probably might be there to try to get them some solace until, like, at the end and stuff. But I like to see more of them get convicted, get probably at least get LWOP or life without parole. The death is okay, but if we get, but around here, the death is a very, very debatable statement because I think we got a lot of people in prison and that's on death row and they're still waiting on their time for their hour of death to be received.
Unfortunately, people do crime here to get something they had and let go, like a few hours or close a day, and they could do the same old shit here in California and other century states. Anywhere you hear century states, it's like they don't really punish if someone just like to like rob you or breaking in your store or committing a lot of high crimes. And it's kind of fucked up. And they say if it's not a misdemeanor, they will not. If you do it, they steal items under $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, you probably hear a lot about that. Unfortunately, in a lot of century states, okay, it's like a disaster zone. It's not a
I
place.
mean, whenever I was working at Walmart, the least I can get is pay for reaping.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, we're like stitching of a CBA meal period exceptions where corporations existing law prohibits employer from uh, and the employee from a work period more than 5 hours per day without providing the employee with a meal period of not less than 30 minutes. If it creates a exception, the probation specify occupants, including employees of electrical corporation, gas corporation, local policy on electric company covered valid. Bargaining agreement meaning certain conditions under certain law and commercial charge with enforcement. I used to remember when I used to work, it's like I got 30 minutes my lunch break. And I
I can
got
give
5 minutes
you,
to
I
smoke
can
out.
give you something. Never work in retail.
But
When I worked at retail, there were episodes where I can't even take a break. Was an episode where I was just an outside cart pusher, but at my side that I normally would work at, there were about a few, and it took me a good while to just try to corral them up because there were not so many carts, and the management was like, "Why?" And I had to explain to them about what's going on, and it's like, oh my god, and they knew about this for quite some time. But carts can go bad at any given time, but it's just the management don't even care about it.
yeah, it happens. All right, so the bill creates a expression for above described probation and employees of our corporation as defined. Essential rest period, exception of the Colombian faculties that makes California exception rest period requires a safety sensitive employees. Employment faculties refinery is permanently moving the previous expiration date of Jan. This 26 law means that civic employees are no longer required to be fully relieve all other duties to their breaks. The bill expands that section, accountable to rules and other refineries that process ultimate feedstocks. FEA enforcement procedures beginning January the 1st, 2026 law stands circumvention, tolling, and statute limitations give individuals to file civil right under California Fair Employment Housing Act. Individual appeals the discussion from and gets agreement with California Civil Rights Department. We're tooling, you know. There's a lawsuit. If you're doing cyber crime, okay, this and that, and you can't talk to the police with much here in California. They'll look around, oh, you had to call that, and the number does not go through. You gotta go look online and make reports. They don't have a lot, because it's not police friendly.
And in Louisiana, I think I can only can count about two. There might be more. I know the causeway to get from New Orleans to the North Shore and back, and then just to get the golf course at the Gulf Coast at LA1. I think those are the only two that I know. There might be more, but I think those are the two I know in Louisiana that has a tow route.
Yeah, we don't have no trail routes here in California. I just remember in New York and New Jersey. I'm like, damn, there's a new change in our places at one point.
Wait till you get to Philadelphia. You're gonna have tows Galoria.
Oh yeah, I've been I was like, I'm like, you guys suck. That's what I was saying. I'm like, yeah, we have to use something.
Hey, look who's here.
There you go. You are here.
Hey, Ron, you kind of miss a good chunk, man.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, I didn't know you guys were on. I thought that was just like there. Oh boy.
Yo, good
Um,
lunch.
Huh?
Yo, good eating lunch.
Oh yeah, I went to go eat lunch and yeah. So all right. So what's going on?
Yeah, we're talking about the bills here in California. You miss a good chunk of them. Would really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on
Oh,
our Discord server. That's what I'm following up on.
oh, that's what's up there now. Okay.
Yeah, the notice requirement, judgment, deter employment all requires within 60 days of final judgment gets employer reclaim a payment. Employer or a state employer provides the documentation to the state labor commission. The judgment is fully set up by a certain bond has been posted or employee enter into agreement for a judgment to be paid in installments in compliance within the agreement. The bill induces whistleblower protection and as well AI safety because we got a lot of dinner centers here. We have to pay electricity and subscription among on top of electric bill thanks to AI centers here. Wow, so it should really put a pork into us.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
You're done. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a RAM company that wants to stop it for consumers in favor of AI, and it's like, and every tech guru that I follow on YouTube don't even like that idea.
Yeah, but basically, it's a lot of things been going on in here in California about certain places. If you do something bad, you get fired for it. You have to own up for it. You might have to find out things that will help you find a new job, and you got to learn your mistakes. But there's a lot of people do a lot of frauds here, so it's you know what I mean.
Just do me a favor, Star. Don't even play Call of Duty. Because the campaign for Black Ops 7 is all made in AI, and they really don't like the campaign. They love the multiplayer,
Yeah.
and the
I,
Warzone
I do
Battle.
a lot of AI in the game. Mario Kart Racing, okay, it has a lot of AI, cheating AI, man. I swear.
Yeah.
Banning them. So,
Well, AI can be used for good, don't it? Has a lot of good qualities, I
yeah.
think.
And
I
It
then,
all
watched
depends on
one of the
well.
movies that foretells the world AI.
Oh,
There's like Looker that I just watched, Small Soldiers. Well, I mean, you can probably look them up on the internet. Looker and Small Soldiers. That gives you
yeah.
a
watching the
great
Army Navy,
definition of what AI can do.
watching Army Navy game.
Personal records in plant education or training records. The bill requires employees to include the following education and training records: the name of the employee, the name of the training provider, the duration, date of training, a core companies or skills in the training, resulting certificate and qualification. It's kind of funny because not many like places don't even do that. And like you have records of training to make sure you're upkeep so you can do things right and like if things don't fall apart or something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like record keeping requirements for California public work projects, the bill requires the owner or developer undertaking any work must simplify records upon request of Division Labor Standards Enforcement to a multiplayer theft, theft or Harley trust funds or joint labor management communities specified under the bill. The owner and developer fails to comply the requested provision, they will be subject to penalties.
Hmm.
Okay, here's a warning notice here. Expand information that employers required include honor the California Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act beginning the 1st of 2026. Employers are mandated to state whatever they plan to coordinate services to affected employees to a local workforces or development board or another entity, or not at all. Employers must provide LBMB contract information and a description of a service notice regardless of their choice. Then the workplace to know your rights at. Starting in February 2026, employers are mandated to post state agency poster provide a standalone written notice each employee addressing independent contractor miscalculation protections, uh, heat illness prevention workers, pension paid sick days, protection against unfair immigration related practices, and more. Bill requires employers to notify the employee's emergency contact event the employee arrested or detained while work. So basically, we got a lot of immigrants here. They got caught. They should not be working if they don't have the proper protocols to work here. Why like you're taking a job as able bodies here in California? You know what I mean?
Especially if you forgot about it that you're not supposed to be here.
I
I
mean,
can understand
if they
that.
want to follow any position and go through the laws, so yeah, like then you build the building blocks. You don't steal from those who want to build the blocks from here. Period. Want to commit here, not like that and steal. You know what I'm saying?
In my personal rant on it, it makes me feel like why does religion frown on some immigration laws or any kind of laws?
It's political policies, and it goes to left and right, and boom, 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 man. That's how it is. A new California law pay quantity wages to calculate addressing closing pay gaps, enforcing wage adjustments, and gratitudes. Employment pay reporting expanded. The bill changes existing reporting requires the address wage, and this brings introducing strict changes for private employer, including stricter penalties reporting on the new job categories beginning of Jan 2026. Penalties will become a mandatory upon CRV request for 2026 reports due to May 12th. Bill also requires employers to store diagram data separate from personal records. Mm. I don't know what you think about that one right there.
Hmm.
Okay, judgment lands wage guardsmen. The bill requires employers to provide additional information, levying officers and their returns under the wage garnishment law, clarifies officer service and procedures. Okay, labor commission to force gravity law violations authorize the labor commission to investigate the issue or citations or file civil lawsuits graduates taken without violation government labor code. A new California law 2026 minimum wage increase, statewide minimum wage increased $16 per hour for all employees. I used to remember back then it was like what, 14 or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot what mine is. What's supposed to be my our minimum for Louisiana?
So the hourly
For
rate,
what?
yeah, it will increase every year since 2023. The state law requires the finance department to adjust the minimum wage each year along the consumer price index, urban wage earners. So keep in mind, some sectors have higher minimum wages, including some fast food and healthcare workers. Some cities, the country have it also higher minimum wage. But I don't get it. Like fast food would have $30. I don't know if they want to try to do that. Then we're gonna have a lot of kiosks. We got a lot of AI involved, and less few people to talk to. And then some people like go use the kiosk. I'm like, if we wanted to like have a certain thing, we want to talk to the person. So like going to kiosk. So the kiosk can't change the certain things we really want all the time because they didn't put the data fully in.
Yeah, we still follow the federal level minimum. We never went up on minimum.
Yeah, it's a big argument here in California, and a lot of certain people in fast food they want to have $30 or something like that. But like that doesn't require. I could say 15 or something like that, but you chose that way there. If you want to have 30 or something on the job, you have to work in the hospitals or the military conductor or high up stuff. If you want something like that or higher.
You
You get
know, my mother had an offer to work into nursing, and she turned it down.
mm,
I wanted to work on computers, and I didn't have any. We had like lack of transportation getting from one to another, and I just had to give it up for something else, and then I got a ticket for it, but I never used it.
all right, so beginning of Jan of 2026, SB 642 resides California Equal Pay Act under the bill. The organizations define a pay scale. Sex, and why do you put sex there, Newsom? Uh, whatever, you're male or female, but whatever. Wages and wages that are also guidance constitutes cause of action violation of California Equal Pay Act. Okay, like if you're a guy, you're a female, and you work, like you guys get the same pay. Hey, it's something. Who can't like you don't pay someone higher than like other sex? Sorry, that doesn't fly. I just don't get it a whole lot. Sort of things. There's a lot of whatever's on there.
Yeah.
Like penalties, unpaid wages, adjustments. You remember that they kind of did a shutdown on long thing, and people not really paid because the government shut down, or like a certain party gotten involved and did that. Now they're trying to put something like this here, penalties, unpaid wages, adjustments. If you're the bill mandate the labor office post on the website any unaccepted rewards against employers. The bill includes penalty equal to those times rewarded. Reward remains unaccepted after 180 days. Remember the run? Do you remember the shutdown? The government shutdown? How long a lot of people didn't get like running out of money, couldn't even pay, and those like that and now they want to put that right there.
This year, you mean?
Yeah, remember
Yeah, they were shut down for 43 days, I think.
yeah, and people didn't get paid the federal and stuff
Yeah,
because
you know why they were shut down, right? It was not the Republicans, all right?
so
They were shut down because the Democrats voted no every time to reopen it.
yeah, so
This
now
is
they're doing
proven.
the penalties unpaid wage gun like adjustment. So if they want to do that and that again, a quote near future, whatever, and they're gonna punish a certain people because they can't even pay because the federal like links the federal and they can't really to do that.
Yeah,
You know, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? A new California law
yeah,
2026 employees organize a focus ability workers civic sectors to organize asset labor rights. This
yeah,
one's the AB 288 expansion approved private sector workers. Bill is California's Public Employment Relations Board, PERB, to enforce probation natural labor Relations Act NLRA, Private Sector Natural Labor Relations Board, NLRB declines unable to act. Opinion contract inspection for manicurists, commercial fishers, beginning on Jan 2026. Incorporated exception for certain criminal fishers to be amended. Transport Network Company Drivers Relation Act Bill Savage Transportation Network Company Drivers Labor Relations Act, granting the drivers the right to organize a bargain collectively and engage uh, concerned activities on the rise of moral aid for protection and despite their status of dependent contractors. The new laws in 2026, the health and safety civic industries, the category addresses civic occupation hazards or workplace safety measures. And then they had the COVID layoffs here, extended rehire rights for COVID-19 layoffs. These bills stands a sunset date, recall and reverse rights of employees laid off as a result of COVID-19 pandemic until Jan 1st, 2027. The bill covers a certain airport services, hospitality providers, building service and providers, hotels, private clubs, and event condos. And those who did not really take the shot and they got, lay off or fired. But they did not say, they just did say layoffs, but they didn't say the ones that are actually got fired over it.
hmm
Kind of contrary. It has to be both right there. But one side knows some, you know?
yeah. So now, during COVID time also, if we could say that now, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's what they
there
kind
was
of,
a little thing that was being done at the time. You know about the personal paycheck protection loan? Okay.
workers, protection related high exposure trigger things of artificial stone, known as silicosis training,
Uh,
outreach.
well, the personal paycheck protection loan was a loan that they offered during the height of the pandemic. Okay.
Yeah,
And then, so these people falsely applied for these loans. They falsely um, put in for businesses that they didn't own and they didn't run. They had no right to the loan money, whatever. And now, today, this year in 2025 and on into 2026, people are getting arrested on fraudulent,
yeah,
felony fraudulent action, which there was some that had millions of dollars they got through these loans. There were some that got thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for these loans, and they thought they were going to be okay with it. And they didn't have any desire to pay back the loan, didn't have any desire to really answer for their illegal activity, but they didn't worry about it being illegal. And when they get caught, then they're crying. You know, and so I always like to say that if you think you're gonna cry when you get caught, then maybe not do it. You don't want to about crying. And if you cry, maybe cry when you're trying to commit the fraud or the crime, and then you might not commit the crime. Okay, so like on cops and any police chase, you know, on live patrols and things like that. They always have them in the interview room, and the person breaks down crying. Would it be a man or woman? It don't matter. They break down crying in the interview room when they realize that they've been caught, and they're probably going to prison for quite a while or life, depending on how
Yeah.
bad it is. But so the thing is, you know, if you get um, tricked into doing something that's not quite legal, just think about it. You know, does this look not right? Is this normal? And then
Yeah.
you can save yourself from that uh, headache of having to go talk to the police. You know, so
I
just be
mean,
on guard.
It's a lot of stuff
I
here
when
in
during
California.
COVID, I
Uh,
wish the fireworks spectacular got canceled because
we
I was
Yeah,
the only one that was wearing a mask. All others were all not wearing masks,
yeah.
and
so
I was
there's
a
a lot
little
more to
depressed.
that there.
And this was in the news during COVID. A, a church pastor got in Central got arrested for doing a practice like a physical practice, and you're not supposed to have that. You're supposed to have more like a virtual practice during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are 2020 is a fucked up year for everyone. And a lot of political agenda is just added to just like smack and beat down. That's all it is. Control, manipulated, K Ultra, mind fuckery. That's what
And
I
see,
call
I didn't like wearing the mask when it was a mandate in Minnesota, and that's simply because of my breathing issues. Okay, and it was bad enough that when I had a problem with my heart, even then, and I didn't have it diagnosed at the time, but I had the same problem as congestive heart failure and the AFib and the swollen heart idea. I had no clue of, but it didn't just happen all of a sudden. I've had it for a couple of years, right?
Yeah,
And so the thing is that when I put a mask on, then I'm actually breathing in moisture that doesn't get out because it's blocked by the mask. And so then
yeah,
that comes back into where? It comes into your lungs. Then you have water or fluid buildup in your lungs, which I have that all by myself. I don't need a mask to help me.
yeah,
Okay, I got fluid buildup in my lungs all the time. Now I do take the medication to help the direction of that, and so it's not a problem. But
yeah,
the thing is, you know, as long as I stay on my medication correctly, then I don't have to worry about that issue. But
yeah.
back when
Maybe,
we had to wear the mask, I didn't know about the issue with the lung issue. I didn't have that understanding to it, but now I do.
maybe, yeah. So let me ask you something. You ever sound like Kenny from South Park whenever you're trying to talk under the mask? That you gotta yank it out just to try to talk so they can understand, and then put it back on.
Did I do what?
You talk like Kenny from South Park unless you do this to your mask so the people can understand. I do that at Walmart pretty much the time.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
all right, here's more to
Uh,
this here, you guys. The active use of dry cutting methods of official stone requires to implement effective wet methods to suppress the dust requires employees to report cases of silicosis to the state ensures violation may result fines or shutdown orders. On technology and data and AI. This is new California law 2026. They'll also introduce regulation transparent requirements for new technologies and data handling. Oh man, you think they're gonna abuse it? Probably. It depends on certain hands.
Bobby, who is that person that's the last one on the chat?
So
I had to ban him. The one on Twitch, but we
Okay,
did have Tasso and Tara Thompson. Well,
okay.
so yeah, we're not ignoring you. We're just more focused on those California laws that Stars explaining to us.
So, Star, what is your gas price in your area?
shit. I think it's like, well, hey Greg, what's our gas prices? It's like 49 here.
Oh wow, I think
Four
ours.
489.
4.89, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah,
I
mine
think
is two
we're.
69.
I'm at. I think I'm about 270.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah. So
adios.
you gotta look when you are with somebody that's filling up the car. Take a look at the excise tax for the gas. That'll tell you a lot as to why it's more expensive.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is always expensive here in California. Like,
Yeah.
it's stupid, you
Well,
know.
it wasn't that expensive back in the 70s.
Yeah, I understand that. The Trans-Pacific Frontier Artificial Intelligence Act, as known as Translate Act, established requires for certain frontier developers or artificial intelligence models beginning on January 1st, 2026, as speed into S 5.3, introduce comprehensive state level requirements for development of frontier AI models. The law also manages prompt reporting and critical safety incidents involving Cybertrucks or loss of model control, capture and potential. Okay, so it's not just Cybertrucks; it's that cyber, cars like driving around with AI. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Let
know,
me get back
self-driving
to the
cars.
gas. Let me
Yeah.
get back to the gas. It's actually 259.
Huh.
So the
Yeah.
law mandates preventing reporting the crucial safety, including involving Cybertrucks, or loss of model control, capture conventional 30-day window for data breach. Okay, people do a lot of data breaches nowadays. It's over and over notifications. The bill requires data breach disclosure made within 30-day calendar days, discovery notification of the data breach.
Yeah.
New California
I
laws in 2006. Okay, climate enforcement. You know how many times they do climate here in California? This and that.
Yeah.
Category address the corporation and close the requirements related to climate risks. Okay,
Yeah,
start
and you know what? You know,
gases.
all right, sorry, you know what? Where I used to live in Minnesota, and all over the state, but especially where I used to live, the farmers would sell off or lease the land for the windmills. Okay. I always thought that the windmills were producing electricity for the local area. I figured it out. I have no proof on this, but I figured it out that we weren't getting the electricity. That's
All
why
right.
my electricity
All
was
right.
always so high.
We're almost done, but my uncle wants me to take dogs out. I'm gonna keep the screen on there because we're almost like at the end, and so I'm gonna be right back.
All right.
All right.
So, related to financial risk beginning January 2026, briefing therefore providing that entity defined its requirement to prepare climate related financial risk report
Oh,
disclosing
wow.
its climate relating the financial risk measures adopted to reduce the debt to the risk. The bill requires a copy of report of post online public or also requires a state contract climate reporting organization ability prepare public report or separate information. So new California laws 2006 policies and ABWI recognize as state holiday. Beginning 2026, public records schools and colleges will be closed on dollar state employees without pay. So this is Democrats / Republicans, California laws, and there's some politics. So that's into that right
Yeah.
there.
All right. So
So
let me share a little information for you about AOC. You love AOC, right?
I used to remember her. Oh yeah, Minnesota shit. I hear a lot of shit, man. Like
No, I know AOC.
we got so
AOC.
much shit here.
Yeah, I'm not sure who what state AOC is from. That's um
Minnesota, basically. I hear like her and her crew of people frauded a lot of people there. Bunch of lies, thievery.
well, I don't know if that was she from Minnesota. I don't know. I don't remember. Um,
She's like she.
Cortez. Cortez.
I'm actually from Minnesota. She's. I am
I'm
trying
not
to
talking
think.
about the Somalian. I'm not talking about Ilham. I call her Ilham Omar. I'm
Oh,
not talking about her. I'm talking about uh, uh what is her name? First name? Cortez is her last name.
Cortez.
AOC though. Everyone calls her by AOC or three initials of her names because her name is so long. And so anyway, she's on a holiday to Puerto Rico. And
Oh,
gonna and listen now, she went to a holiday in Puerto Rico, for her and for it might have been a Thanksgiving holiday or whatever, but it was holiday season. And guess how much it cost for her to go there? And she went to see a Bad Bunny concert. All right. So then, right after I saw this news about her doing that. Then I looked at a post that she talked about, which I've seen it before, but she was talking about, oh, we need to pay the illegal aliens Medicare. Huh?
yeah, like they did in California in school,
You
all the
spent,
our programs.
yeah,
So
you spent, you
places.
spent $50,000 of my tax dollars, and now you're telling me I got to feed somebody that shouldn't be here? What? I don't
Yeah,
think so.
it sucks, man. It's everywhere, and that's the bigger problem. It's not
Yeah.
Minnesota. It's not just California. It's everywhere, and this
When
is
I
what
remember, I'm in Arizona now.
Mm,
I'm in Arizona now. Remember?
yeah.
But yeah, it is everywhere, sadly. Now the thing is, in Minnesota, we had uh, at the time of the survey, they had 61,000 Somalians, and then it was readjusted in 2025 to add up to 86,000 Somalians in Minnesota, mostly in Minneapolis area.
That's a lot. We got some Muslims here, but now we're getting punished. We can't be anti-Semitism. Yeah, but they
Yeah,
did things to other females here. So
yeah,
it's like, plus they did other things like Minnesota and New York, and we got from people from Iran or kind of Muslim like that, and they treat our females like really shitty here in California. And like I remember one of them did for my mom, totally disrespect me and our housing. We had 1 point theft steal and some BS. And I made the guy left. I'm like no, you're totally disrespectful. Like you come here, you want to be here. Respect a lot of things. Similar
yeah,
thing here. But don't, do like the things that you did back home. If you leave it like at home for a reason, you want to come here and be a part of us, hey, that we're happy about. As long as you do your job, don't theft and steal. Period.
yeah. Don't try to change our country to your ideals that you have. We don't want to change like that.
Yeah,
And
especially yeah, so like one like someone did to me like that. I remember how this guy did. Man, he stole a lot of things, and he took some things up personal too. Yeah, it's
Mm.
like, yeah, especially like underwear and stuff. Yeah, there's some of them did that. Especially, I don't know why my mom, like, like rented, like, allow him rent a room with us at one point. So I had some like I kind of cringe this. I'm like, look at someone's like, okay, are they a respectable person? But
Mm.
the thing is, we got a lot of things going on now. They're cracking down here on California. We cannot be this, we can't be that. We're being called racist. We're gonna be, you anti-Semite, you homophobe, all sorts of shit. Oh, white privilege. I'm like, huh? What? Anybody has privilege here. What? What? Now it's like we can't really speak a whole lot. It's like crackdown, and you just can't very much anymore. Now there's an affiliated school affiliated. If you're marked like that, you gotta pay a fine, or and you get a book thrown at you because of somebody. And you missed a lot out there, Ron. When was talking
Yeah.
about, and there's a lot of kind of issues going on in here, but AI is one point and another. I don't like the idea of AI centers here in California. Like, especially now we have to pay a subscription fee, like $24 a month, and the usage.
Yeah.
So it's, and these are not going to be cheap here, fortunately. So, and we got a lot of crime rates, and we don't have enough officers to keep things safety because the radical side of the party is just like, no. And we don't have a lot of business up here as much. A lot of it left because the policies. So it's like a lot of criminals here. You come from certain parts of the world would come here and cause a lot of problems, just as bad as New York, Minnesota, and a lot of century states. We got a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah. And what's nice about Arizona, though, it's mostly in Phoenix where they are, and there's only like 1,500, not 86,000.
I don't know. There's some
1,500 is a lot big difference, big difference. So I like 15. I don't like any, but 1,500 is much better than 86,000.
Yeah, unfortunately, LA's sinking, the LA basin. With
Yeah.
our environment, it's not really doable, but people say climate change, this and that. No, it's not actually climate, it's our environment and the changes that we're going through. Of course, they're going to lie to the people, but New York City have a similar fate to us in California. They're sinking too, you know,
Yeah.
but they're not going to tell their people.
Well, at least Arizona isn't
Yeah,
thinking.
people say, "Oh, they're drilling like that." Calvin said, "No, that's not drilling because our fault lines, or creates in our fault lines, is causing our sinkage. The
Yeah.
movement. So it's not like drilling. That's not the cause. It's our environment, and they're not telling the people of that. And LA is a basin, and we're gonna lose a chunk of it, and it's gonna go down to the ocean.
Well,
That's just
San Francisco was actually built on the old time sailing ships, that
Yeah, but San
were,
Francisco is a long story, but the Golden Gate Bridge and all that, that's not gonna do well neither. That's gonna be like when things gonna happen down the road, or like could be March next year, maybe few months. We just don't know, but they're not telling us like the whole kind of thing, a situation like earthquake, or it's environmental kind of thing that does happen, like floods and whatnot. It's just that our planes are changing in the cycles, and they're not telling a lot of us the whole kind of thing. Plus, we have an underwater volcano that might cause a lot of issues. So when I'm looking at it, the Golden Gate Bridge and the San Francisco, most of it's going to be affected in the areas. Of course, we're got a lot of snow in the above us. It's going to affect us. It's going
Yeah,
to pile up in certain areas. It's going to come down and hit us hard. A lot of,
yeah,
the snow coming in, the water.
yeah. No snow in my area.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're going through a lot of changes here. Whether people in LA Basin, they're screwed.
Yeah,
Okay, we got a lot
so
of fires and one thing and another that is directed energy weapons from time to time. Like they did that with our buyouts. They did it to other parts of the country. They set fires, so they did that in Lahaina. They did that too. You know,
Yeah.
all right, so are we like done here?
yeah, pretty much.
And sorry, I wanted to ask you before we go. I wanted to ask you, did you see any ICE agents without their masks on?
But I
The
don't.
Governor Newsom had written an order just the
Yeah,
other day.
I
Just
put
said it
that.
would be immediate.
I put that YouTube like
Yeah.
that there where they stole buildings. They lied about the homeless shit.
Yeah,
Because he got caught in some,
All
but
right.
I doubt if people are going to really, you know, on that.
I
But
think there is a video. Oh, it's a 23. Oh, it's a 25-minute video. I'm not sure we're gonna have time to watch it. No, it's a 25-minute video that Star put.
for
you can
what?
watch at your own time being. But Ron, like Bobby, he could add one to my server so you could like watch that. You could keep up in the records if I'm not always there due to
Oh, okay.
you know.
Yeah, I just put the link in our channels for everybody can watch
Okay.
it later.
And then send it to
And
Teams. Put it on Teams too.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just
I'll put it on your team.
basically there's a lot of things in Missouri, whatever, Minnesota, like the situation, the money that thing is happening here as well in California.
Yeah,
So
but Minnesota got caught.
yes, and Tim Walz basically he was involved with it, and
Yeah.
certain people were involved. Sitting Gavin Newsom, and
Well,
his
on a good side note, kind of tap on Tim will not survive a third term. Thank God.
no,
I
and
think he's
basically I
done.
found out that otherwise that Newsom did got recalled, but the political whatever lied to the people over that.
Yeah,
Lied to the people a lot more other than stuff. But now, what I'm looking at is like Newsom can't even run for presidency. It's done deal because the fires he lied and cheated still, but the fires.
and they still ain't got their homes rebuilt.
No,
Sorry.
they're not. They're facing the same thing as the Lahaina faced.
I was gonna say, just like where you came from when you just hit that mess, and they didn't rebuild that.
No, I still take a look once in a while, but it's still, it's a dragging process over in Lahaina over there. They only allow certain people to build like that, but they're like fighting certain people of permits. Basically, I heard
Yeah,
still ongoing. It's like they put whatever in there, and that causing a lot of issues. And the ring should not be there to begin with in Hawaii. Basically, he should not be the governor for Hawaii. The green, he should not be. He did a lot of shit. I don't know why he cheated the system to be there. Be my guess, but
and
that
all the Democrats on X are complaining about MAGA supporters or
oh,
Trump
they
supporters.
have been doing that for a long time, and basically their
But
policies, what they put out, is affecting all of us in whole. It's making us dysfunctional dystopia like it's garbage.
yeah,
And here's a
and
question. Here's a question. Um, how the people that is going to participate in both the FIFA 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics is going to have some type of knowledge the way how Trump is handling the country.
Basically, we would have Olympics here to do the fire, but the guy in Newsom wants to build Olympic Stadium down like down below, but I don't see that happening. Backfired.
No,
But I think France has it right now for the Winter Olympics. Basically, it's France's turn. It's supposed to be ours, but I don't give a shit. You know what? They wanted
yeah,
these Satanists, cultists, whatever. I had nothing to do with their stupid rituals. But
Yeah. Well, thank you, Star, for being here. We don't rabbit tip. We didn't have really didn't have any chairs. Just people saying hi and probably do what they got to do.
yeah, no worries, man. Timing was kind of awkward.
Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
sorry I had to leave early when we was almost there. I had to take the dogs out, and Uncle couldn't wait 15 minutes.
No worries, man. Especially like how things been going. Our weather's all kind of weird here, and
And that was the second time he ticked me off because the first time he did, I was trying to play Arc Raiders with Genghis, and he went to try to barge into my room, and it's like, "Hey, watch it." And I was like, man, you need to relax." I don't
When
know
was
why
that?
I did.
Was that before I got here?
Well, that was before I did this presentation. So yeah.
Okay.
uh,
All right.
hey, well, um, you could look at that, Ron. We could read that. A lot of it, you'll say, "Thank goodness you left," because a lot of these laws, and they put a lot of immigrants here, Ron. The laws
Yeah.
protect immigrants, but this that. It's Newsom. Okay, Newsom. That's Newsom saying, all right, backlashing the mega community. Okay, the Republicans, not the Rhino ones. Okay, the Clinton era. Okay, those ones don't give a shit about people. Sadly, they saw that over a day ago. Sadly, there. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
different, but it's like a left and right. Slush fest and throw things to each other. One point another. The redistricts are shit. And I found out what they did in California, and they kind of passed it lightly. Um, and now, like, people are fighting over redistricting. Well, it's a kind of spiritual war. That's all it is. It's just war. Who takes over like that? If the Democrats take over, not the actual old Democrats, we used to remember, for the certain for people, these
Yeah.
radical versions, like new versions, like lean themselves as cartels, they are taking over the parties, certain individuals and parties, and they're going to, like, once they do take over, we're going to go through the same shit like, way back than the
Right.
Biden's policies. Just worse. We're going to get punished for thinking, and we don't think like them. They're going to do whatever to make our lives hell. And
Right.
they posted like a lot of things like Newsom did the video yesterday or day before that he has Trump and the two others that are like handcuffed and like crying in the car.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that I was talking about, right? Yeah, that's
It's not right.
what I'm doing,
And they
right?
do that. They do that, and they say that we're breaking law if we do that. Yet they're doing the same damn thing. So what the hell?
So basically,
Everybody will be breaking walls today.
so Newsom did that right there about Trump and the other two other people crying in the cop car.
Basically,
Okay, that's
basically that means,
government
yeah,
should
that
be
just,
saying, listen, we get power, we're going to do this to you.
and that is just saying that Gavin Newsom is guilty as hell, and he's
Oh, he
just
is guilty.
showing.
He
He's
frauded a lot of communities here, especially the homeless. Like, he's
yeah,
making things unbearable here. That's why we got a lot of homeless here.
yeah,
We got a lot of mental people like running around doing chaotic and that kind of thing. And we got a lot of immigrants here not you know establish themselves here. They're not simulating here, and that's another problem we're dealing with. And they're
they need
taking
to
over.
go back. They need to go back.
Which
Go
part?
back to where they came from.
The ones that don't want to associate did not break the laws and didn't follow the ways, like to be here properly. and it didn't, and they're stealing the programs from disabled and people that are needs basically. And what sets me off that the people get like $3,000 food stamp. How the fuck
Yeah.
you you got that here in California? How the
Yeah.
hell like how? And like average people probably get 200 or up to 300. Like the highest you might get 400, but 3,000? Are you fucking kidding me?
Right. Yep. And then they're showing it on X or TikTok,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're bragging about it, and then they wonder why they're getting arrested. You know, some
Especially,
do.
in food like that, because like in food stamps, you're not supposed to buy sodas or like junk food. You're supposed to buy stable food.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and a lot of people have found a hard times, but it's just that what I'm seeing. And yet they're going into other programs like that, and the people with disability they can't get a place, and it's oh I'm sorry, you know,
I can buy soda, but I pay gas.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, but they're changing a lot of rules like on certain programs because a lot of people did kind of shady things that they shouldn't have. But and unfortunately, and now we have a lot of fathers
No,
a lot of
I gotta
money.
get this.
I'm
Hold
telling
on, folks. Hold on. I'll be right back.
you. All right.
Well, I think we're about ready to close out anyway. So, thank you, Star, and thanks for everybody who are did want to be with us. But yeah, this was a big subject, and most people when it comes to big subject, they usually don't care about it. But anyway, as soon as I can get this loaded, there we go. All right. So what a day! So thank you, Star, once again, and thanks for the great explanation of these laws that California has and why it's pretty much not acceptable at random cost. So yeah.
Yeah, they
So
should remove the immigrant status stuff out. Period. And like
yeah. So yeah, all those that goes within the factory rejects.
All right, all right, all right. All right. Everything's going to be all right. Uncle, I'm trying to do a show.
And remember, we're on Mixler, Podbean, YouTube, X, Facebook, Trovo, Rumble, and Instagram. Pause and scan that QR code right away because no one wants to be a ghost holding a canoe.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Bobby.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Well, what a great special. I think we almost hit two, but let's roll with be about an hour and 50. So, yeah. All right, so
All
see
right.
everybody next time, and thank you all for watching. We might.
Have a good day.
All right, thank you.